Choosing the right AI foundation model, it's probably one of the biggest strategic calls a business leader can make right now. The whole landscape is just packed with powerful options. But honestly, underneath all the tech specs and benchmarks, there's a much bigger, more fundamental question you have to ask about your company's future. And it all comes down to ownership. And that really is the question we're digging into today, isn't it? Are you building your entire AI future on a platform that you're just renting? Paying fees forever, totally dependent on someone else's roadmap? Or are you building on a foundation that you can truly own, shape, and control? Because that choice, that single choice, has massive implications for your costs, your control, and maybe most importantly, your intellectual property. So let's break this down. On one side, you've got what we can call the API renters. You're paying per use fees, you have way less control over where the model's heading, and let's be honest, any data you use is mostly just helping the provider make their model better. But on the other side, with Meta's LLaMA, you get to step into the owner mindset. You're building an asset you can actually own, one with incredible potential for deep customization. This isn't just a different piece of tech, it's a completely different way of doing business. Okay, but before we dive deep into the license that makes this whole ownership thing possible, we have to tackle the elephant in the room. Is the tech actually any good? Is it powerful enough to bet your business on? Because let's face it, owning a weak foundation is completely worthless. Well, this is the claim from Meta's original research paper that put the entire industry on notice. And this quote, it wasn't just a small detail, it was a bombshell. They weren't just saying they could match the performance of the big player at the time, GPT-3. No, they were saying they could outperform it with a model that was 10 times smaller. That's just a staggering claim of efficiency and power. And they had the data to back it up. I mean, just look at the benchmarks from their own paper for common sense reasoning. You can see it clear as day. On tasks like HelloSwag and OpenBook QA, the much smaller LLaMA 13B model, it's not just holding its own, it's actually scoring higher than the massive GPT-3. This proved LLaMA wasn't just some alternative, it was a legitimate powerhouse. So the tech is powerful. Check. That brings us to the legal framework that really unlocks all of its commercial potential, the LLaMA Community License Agreement. Now, this isn't just boring fine print. This is the carefully crafted legal tool designed to build a whole commercial ecosystem around this amazing technology. And at its heart, the license is incredibly generous. It gives your business a worldwide royalty-free right to use LLaMA in commercial products. You can create your own modified, fine-tuned versions, and you can even distribute those models. That royalty-free part, that's huge. It just vaporizes a massive barrier to entry for building a commercial AI business. But here it is. This is the absolute game changer. While Meta still owns the original LLaMA models, the license says very clearly that your business owns the modifications and the derivative works you create. So if you fine-tune LLaMA with your company's secret sauce, your proprietary data, the resulting IP, that specialized high-value model, belongs to you. You're not just using a tool, you're building a defensible, ownable asset. Now, here's a quick but super important distinction for your legal and compliance folks. LLaMA's isn't technically open source in the strictest sense. Because of a few commercial restrictions, which we're about to get to, it's more accurately called source available. It just means the code is public for you to see and use, but it comes with a few specific rules you have to play by. Of course, all this freedom doesn't come with a few rules. So now we switch gears from what you get to what you have to do. This is the so-called catch, and you absolutely have to understand these obligations before you jump in. The first and most famous rule is this number, 700 million, as in monthly active users. If your product that uses LLaMA blows past this number, you have to go ask Meta for a special license. Now, I know that sounds scary, but it's really just a strategic move to keep their direct hyperscale competitors from using LLaMA. For pretty much every other business on the planet, this number is just, well, it's theoretical. So, beyond that huge user number, there are 3 other main rules of the road. First, you have to give credit where it's due by showing built with LLaMA. Simple enough. Second, if you make your own fine-tuned model and share it, its name has to start with LLaMA, which is a pretty clever way for Meta to grow the brand. And finally, the model is provided as is. That's legal speak for your business takes on all the liability for how you use it. But here's the thing. Meta doesn't just hand you the model and the rules and then walk away. They actually provide a whole toolkit to help you manage the risks that come with deploying AI this powerful. It really shows that LLaMA is a mature platform, not just a random code drop. A huge part of this is the Acceptable Use Policy, or AUP. Think of it as the rulebook for good behavior, and it's a contractual obligation. It bans using LLaMA for all the stuff you'd expect, illegal acts, hate speech, but also, and this is critical for business, providing unauthorized professional advice in areas like law, finance, or medicine. Making sure your company follows this AUP is step one. And to actually help you enforce that policy, Meta gives you LLaMA Guard. You can think of it like a dedicated security guard for your AI. It's a tool designed for risk management. It acts as a filter, checking for harmful content in both the prompts your users type in and the answers your model gives back, helping you build safer apps right from the start. And look, this combination of performance, ownership, and safety, it's not just theory. Major companies are already creating incredible value with LLaMA. We're talking AT&T improving customer care, Goldman Sachs using it for secure document analysis, Shopify enriching millions of product listings, and companies like Sophia building entire clinical support systems on it. The proof is right there, in production. So all of this brings us right back to that central question. Choosing LLaMA isn't just a technical decision about which model is a few points better on some benchmark. It's a fundamental business strategy decision about control, about ownership, and about your company's place in the future of AI. So how do you know if it's the right choice for you? Well, LLaMA is probably the perfect foundation when your competitive edge comes from deeply customizing a model with your own unique data. It's the right choice when things like data security and control are absolutely non-negotiable, maybe for regulatory reasons. And it's for sure the right choice when you're building at a scale where the total cost of owning your own asset starts to look way, way better than paying those endless API fees every month. Ultimately, it really all boils down to this. The foundation model is the platform. It's powerful, sure, but it's becoming a commodity. Your proprietary data, that is your unique defensible asset. And the question the LLaMA license really forces you to answer is, are you ready to combine them and truly own your AI future?